Hey y'all, it's me, Miss A, and I wanted to share something that I think is very important that many of my students are using this time of year. It is the end of the school year. That second semester, that spring semester of school is coming to a close, and many students, middle school students and high school students especially, have final exams coming up this week, next week, in a couple of weeks. And for all of my students, I teach them something called the STAR study plan. And I wanted to share that with you all. So students, parents, take notes. S in the STAR study plan stands for specific subject. That's really self-explanatory. We know that in middle school, students have, many different classes and teachers. And just this morning, I was doing a STAR study plan with one of my ninth graders, and we were getting her afternoon study plan organized. She usually logs on with me in the morning before she goes to school. So we were setting her up for an afternoon of success when she gets back home from school. But for today, we were doing English. And so the S for her plan was literally English Unit 3. Now, you have to specifically know what you're going to study. Is it a specific unit? Is it a chapter? Each teacher and each final exam has different things. Maybe you have a study guide. So if you have 50 questions on your study guide, for example, maybe you do English study guide questions 1 through 15 today, just reviewing it. So that's the S in our STAR study plan. The T in the STAR study plan stands for time it and take breaks. So this is very important. I know sometimes when students are not studying effectively or efficiently, they're trying to cram information by sitting at a desk for 2-3 hours at a time. That's not efficient. It tires you out. We don't want kids to be tired studying. We want them to feel invigorated. We want them to feel motivated, and we don't want them to avoid it altogether. So believe it or not, I recommend that students time it in chunks of 20 or 30 minutes at a time. So that student today, from 4:30 to 5 o'clock when she gets home, she's going to study for 30 minutes, specifically her English Unit 3 notes. Now, A, action steps. That's the next letter in our STAR study plan. So what does that mean? How are you going to study? So this particular student, when we were making her plan, she was talking about flashcards. Making flashcards is actually, of course, a form of studying. So for those 30 minutes, she will be writing out, the vocabulary, the terms, the important information that she needs on one side of the flashcard, right? And putting the answers on the other side. And so that's a specific action step. Now, the R in our study plan is actually read aloud and repeat. So what does that mean? A lot of the time, students will sit quietly at a desk and they'll just kind of read over. I don't recommend that when they're studying. I recommend that they actually read their work aloud because it does something when you see it, you're seeing it, right? You're saying it and you're hearing it. So it's helping our brain to process the information and, of course, repeating it over and over. We don't want to try to memorize every single thing because it's a lot of information, but believe it or not, that repetition will help. So that is our STAR study plan, just a basic way. And each day, for when I see that student again in a couple of days, I'm going to see how that went for her. We're going to then be planning another day. But that's what it's all about, parents. That's what it's all about, students. Having a plan, being ready, being prepared. Happy studying.